out. Ageless Warren Moon of Seattle directs the NFL's top-ranked offense, coming off a 5-touchdown pass performance last week. 3 of those scoring passes directed to his talented young receiver, Joey Galloway. Denver has the second-rated offense, featuring John Elway, who today will become the 3rd in NFL history to account for 50,000 yards. And running back Terrell Davis, the league's leading rusher. 2 high-powered offenses, 2 of the best quarterbacks in NFL history. And it all unfolds at Mile High Stadium as the Broncos host the Seahawks. Denver leads the AFC West at 7-1, a game ahead of Kansas City, with Seattle in 3rd place at 5-3. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Denver. Tom Hammond and Randy Cross. You know, since losing to the Broncos in Week 2 of the season, Seattle has won 5 of 6, chiefly because of their quarterback, Warren Moon. He's going to be 41 years old this month, and Randy, he is playing outstanding football. Interesting that both he and the Bronco coaches talk about his comfort zone.
Well, Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator of the Broncos, says he looks way too comfortable in the pocket to me. The most important thing, though, is the relationship he has with his receivers. They've gone from, gee, I'm playing with Warren Moon, to, hey, Warren, get me the ball. It's made a huge difference, especially Joey Galloway.
Well, when you used to play Denver, you had to prepare, of course, for John Elway. Now it's not only John Elway, but it's Terrell Davis, the league's leading rusher. And Randy, I believe you think it's time to get maybe a little more balance back into the Denver offense.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Terrell Davis is the best running back in the league right now, but what they need to do is feature the ball to the receivers and the tight ends. And we talked to Shannon Sharp yesterday, and he says, hey, we've thrown 110 less passes to the receivers than last year. Well, Shannon, it's not quite that bad. But in order to be that offense everybody was so worried about the first month of the season, they've got to feature the receivers.
Shannon did exaggerate just a little bit. 2 of the hottest teams in the NFL right now, but do the Seahawks belong amongst the elite? We'll find out. A big test from them today. Back to Mile High for the kickoff, the Broncos and the Seahawks in just a moment. Welcome back to Denver on a beautiful, sunny 49-degree afternoon as the Seahawks meet the Denver Broncos. Denver's defense has had trouble stopping the run all season. They've given up big plays on the run, and their 5.7 yards per rush allowed is worst in the league, which may play into the hands of Chris Warren, who starts at running back for the Seahawks today. He led the AFC in rushing in 1994 and is the last running back to score 3 touchdowns against the Denver Broncos. Denver wins the toss. They'll receive. Todd Peterson has it teed up for the Seahawks. And the deep man for the Broncos standing in his end zone will be Vaughn Hebron. And here's Peterson's kick. To the outside, flags are down. Hebron down the sideline, midfield. Penalty flags came early as Hebron brought it back 51 yards.
Those are illegal blocks by a couple of individuals right around the 30-yard line, Tom. You've got a returner like Hebron with the average he has around 26 yards. You take the extra chances, and took an extra chance there and got caught.
Tom White is the referee today.
Holding. Number 59, during the return, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Glenn Cadrez guilty of the hold, which nullifies that 51-yard kickoff return. Spot the ball at the 20, where the Broncos will take over. John Elway needs only 4 yards of total offense to account for 50,000 in his career. And he's got it right there. No, Smith dropped it. Rod Smith had it, dropped it as they go right after Sean Springs, the rookie corner of the Seahawks. Here's the starting lineup for Denver. And that offensive line, Zimmerman, Schlereth, Nalen, Diaz Infante starts for Brian Habib, who's injured, and Tony Jones. Elway, Terrell Davis averaging 5 yards a carry, 1,068 yards, the league's leading rusher. Griffith is back after missing the Buffalo game with an injury. Throws it away. Like a mix-up with McCaffrey down the sideline and and Smith in the center of the field. Elway just threw it out of bounds. Seahawks defensively up front, Sinclair, Adams, Kennedy, and LaBounty. Linebackers, Moss Wells, who is the third leading tackler, and Chad Brown, who came over as the free agent from the Steelers. Sean Springs had a nightmare game 2 of the season against the Broncos. Williams, Blades, and Williams. Benny Blades banged up, but starting the game today, the question is how long will he last? And Sean Springs is the man on the hot seat again today. Nickel defense for the Seahawks on third down. And it was Tony Jones that came out of his stance early. It'll be a 5-yard false start.
False start. Number 77 offense moving prior to snap. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Tom, on that second down play, John Elway had Rod Smith coming out of the slot, got man coverage with Darrell Williams, the safety. Rod Smith was wide open down the field. That's something that Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, is going to keep in his mind. They get a lot of man coverage, and you're going to see wide open receivers on both sides of the ball today.
From the gun on 3rd and 15. Elway steps up, delivers complete to Shannon Sharp. And Sharp out of bounds with a first down. And Elway has just passed his 50,000-yard mark with that 15-yard strike to Shannon Sharp. Jeremy Lincoln got Sharp out of bounds. Elway the third in history to account for 50,000 yards.
And the reason he got that play the way he did is look at the protection he gets up front from this offensive line. I think the best line in the business right now. And watch the tackle attempted to be made right there. That's not a tackle. That's a try to get knocked out of bounds. You got to wrap up a tight end.
So Marino, Tarkenton, and now Elway, 50,000 yards. Elway got away from the rush. Big chase from behind. Feels his presence and ducks upfield to the 35-yard line. Heads up play by Elway that time as he had that sixth sense. Matt LaBounty bearing down on him.
We talk about the passing game trying to get more involved today. The reason is they've been frustrated the last couple of weeks, and you've seen a lot more of this from John Elway. Running out of the pocket. Defenses know the receivers are going to run with him. They're keeping that man coverage very, very tight, and they're making John run. But he's not bashful. Even at 37, which sounds like a pup compared to Warren Moon, he does not mind still running.
Terrell Davis. Davis cuts up. There's a flag down, and Davis all the way to midfield. Made a beautiful cutback. Finally tackled by Chad Brown and Darrell Williams. 14 yards if it stands.
Holding. Number 66 offense. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
It will not stand due to the hold by Tom Nalen.
Well, Nalen's the center for John Elway's team. Here's the center here, but watch the backside blocks on this offense. This is what makes Alex Gibbs' offensive line so good. And you see the hold. That was a pretty good job of grabbing Sam Adams there and keeping him from getting away because he flat got away from Nalen.
On this opening drive, penalties making things difficult for the Broncos. It's 2nd and 15. Elway just standing there. Finally, he has the outlet receiver, Davis. Twisted down about at the line of scrimmage by Chad Brown. As you see the other scores, Washington putting it all over Chicago today. Carolina comes to Mile High next week. Indianapolis had a lead for a while, but finally lose by a field goal to the Bucs.
Talk about a team that needed a win. Tampa Bay 3 in a row. If they go 4 in a row, they're gone.
Atlanta had a lead on St. Louis, and that one's now tied. And here are the late starting games. Here at Mile High, no score. The Broncos on their first possession of the game, facing a 3rd and 14 at their own 26-yard line. Pressure, Elway, sacked. First sack of the game. It comes on a safety blitz from Jay Bellamy.
Jay Bellamy's the nickel back. Benny Blades, a safety, lines up at linebacker, but watch Jay Bellamy right here. How often the last 2 years have we seen this happen? A defensive back coming off a covered slot position for a sack. This offense right now is just a little bit off. You see the timing involved in this offense. It needs the rhythm, just like Seattle's, and it's not there right now.
Harris awaits Tom Ruin's punt. Harris from the 36, surrounded and taken down. 45-yard punt by Ruin. There's another penalty marker down.
It's an illegal man downfield.
And Denver riddled with penalties here in the first couple of minutes of the game.
That was really Seattle's problem. Over 130 yards last time they played the Broncos in penalties.
35-14, Denver won that one in Seattle. Tom White, trying to get it sorted out. Already
trying to find a captain, a coach. Maybe the trainer wants to call.
There's a guy who took charge, yeah.
An eligible lineman, number 59 on the kicking team, was downfield. That penalty is declined. It'll be a first down for Seattle. Timeout.
Cadre is guilty of the penalty, but it was declined. So Warren Moon gets his chance. First possession for Seattle when we come back. Tom Hammond, Randy Cross in Denver. Scoreless game, Seattle's first possession. It begins at the Seahawk 37-yard line. Two tight end formation here. Warren Moon on first down. Wide open Joey Galloway. And Galloway gallops for 11 or 12 yards before he's put out of bounds by Ray Crockett. Seahawks open this way on offense. Up front, Grant Williams starts at that all-important left tackle spot, replacing the injured Walter Jones. Warren Moon, 41 years old this month, 61% of his passes over 2,000 yards. Chris Warren gets the start. He's the top rusher. Strong, Galloway the leading receiver, Pritchard and Crumpler.
A lot of quick passes early, Tom, so they get a feel of exactly what Williams is going to do for him at left tackle.
Moon stands in, fires a strike complete, and it is Brian Blades that makes the reception, then wrapped up immediately by Tyrone Braxton. Two new starters up front. Hasselback replaces the injured Neil Smith, and Tonavasa replacing Michael Dean Perry, deactivated. Coach Shanahan saying he lacked leg strength, hasn't been doing the job. Mobley, the leading tackler for the Broncos. Crockett made a big play, an interception against Buffalo last week. Gordon, Atwater, and Braxton completing the secondary. Chris Warren's first carry shook a tackler in the backfield, has a first down to the 40-yard line. Nice run by Chris Warren when he could have been thrown for a loss. Finally, Mobley makes the tackle for Denver.
Well, 3 plays so far for this Denver defense and 3 blitzes against Warren Moon's offense.
And a Denver injury, and it could be Keith Traylor, I believe. And Traylor has been playing just about as well as anybody in the defensive line these days in the NFL.
But the last 2 weeks, he's dominated inside, and this defense is built much like the old Dallas defense. The big stalwarts, the loads inside, the little kind of thin-waisted guys at end, and the speed linebackers. They need a big trailer in there to really weigh that middle down.
So Traylor will head to the sideline. And the Seahawks have a first down. Coach Dennis Erickson telling us expect to see them throw the ball around a lot today, despite the fact that Denver's had trouble stopping the run. And true to his word early, as Warren Moon's putting it up. And Warren Moon saying he's not doing anything differently, that he's found his comfort zone. He has a routine. He always follows the routine. It finally kicked in about week 3 or 4 of this season, and it's been one of his most satisfying seasons ever in his 14-year NFL career. Shotgun, 4 wides, and Moon down the sideline, and incomplete, intended for Pritchard. Pritchard had a step, but the pass got there, I think, before he was expecting it. He'd gotten by Darius Johnson.
Well, one thing you're going to see here this time of the day, though, as the teams are going in that direction, the receiver looks back. He's looking right back into a real bad sun, and I don't know if Pritchard could really pick that ball up in the air.
It appeared he didn't see it, didn't it? He just...
I mean, it is bright. It hasn't quite gotten down over the scoreboard in the stands yet, and it just glares right into their eyes.
2nd and 10 for the Seahawks. Scoreless first quarter in Denver. Moon again down the sideline, and this time intended for Galloway, tightly covered by Ray Crockett. That's going to be a marquee matchup all afternoon.
Well, these cornerbacks and receivers are lucky this is not a warm weather game. It's about 49 degrees, because if it was hot, they'd all be in IVs by about the third quarter, because Warren Moon just loves to stretch a defense down the field, especially with the speed of a Galloway. You know, he's one of those legitimate 4'2", 4'2", 5 guys out of Ohio State that he just flat brings it down the field and stretches it.
But Crockett had him stride for stride that time. Now it's 3rd and 10. Quick pass by Moon, caught by Pritchard at the 35. Immediately hit by Crockett. He's short of the first down.
The Broncos defense has settled down a little bit with the blitz idea too after the first few plays, playing more of a man rush, coming at Warren Moon, playing coverage instead of playing gamble.
So the Seahawk drive stalls, and Rick Tootin is on for the first Seattle punt of the game. Now they're going to attempt a field goal. It is going to be a 52-yard attempt by Peterson. So Peterson will attempt a 52-yarder. High snap on its way, and good. So from 52 yards, Peterson, whose longest had been 44, puts Seattle in front. The NFL on NBC from Denver, as the Seattle Seahawks have taken a 3-0 lead. Todd Peterson, a 52-yard field goal, just cleared the crossbar. I don't think it would have been good from 53 or 54. He did have a 54-yarder last year.
It wouldn't have been good from 52 and a half.
Well, a matchup between the two best offenses statistically in the NFL here today. Seattle at 374 yards a game, and Denver 368.
And the one thing that really jumps out when you're looking at the stats, though, Seattle 374, fantastic. But scoring-wise, with those first 2 weekends, the Jets pounded them, and then the Broncos pounded them. They're like 16th in the league in scoring. You throw those 2 weeks out, they look pretty good. But unfortunately for Dennis Erickson, you can't just throw those first 2 weeks out.
Hebron awaiting the kick by Peterson. A Seahawk team that's playing with much more confidence than in that Week 2 shellacking by the Broncos. Short kick. Hebron takes it about the 2. Has a seam. Hebron. There's a flag down, and Hebron is out of bounds. Remember, he had a 51-yard kickoff return to open the game, wiped out by penalty. This one, 45 yards if it stands. Tennessee leading Jacksonville early in the late starting games, and this one will come back as well.
And Mark Brunell starting for the Jaguars in that game. Much was made of that dislocated finger on the passing hand. Be surprised.
Illegal block in the back above the waist. Number 58 during the return. First down.
That's the 4th penalty already against the Broncos for 35 yards. More importantly, it's wiped out some huge plays. Is this a sign that the Broncos are just not quite sharp and with it here early in the game?
Well, maybe even a little bit too with it, a little bit too aggressive, a little bit wanting to do a little bit too much and not exactly just their job.
Denver so far has taken your advice, Randy. They've been in the air more than they have with Terrell Davis on the ground. This is Davis's first official carry. Had one earlier wiped out by a penalty. He lugs it this time to the 24-yard line, where he's tackled by Winston Moss.
And Terrell Davis, when he goes to his right, he's a lot more of a threat to get the corner than it is when he goes to his left. Because when he wants to go to his left, he loves to cut back. And here's a guy that's got the speed, he's got the strength, and like I said earlier, he's got an offensive line that as a group combination blocks better than anybody in the league.
I think I said 24-yard line. It's the 14-yard line where Denver has it 2nd and 6. 3-0 game. Play action fake. Elway steps up. Throws in traffic for a short gain to Davis. Moss and Wells had him surrounded. We invite you to follow the NFL online at NBCSports.com. And this week we take an in-depth look at Seahawks quarterback Warren Moon, who at almost 41 years old has reestablished himself as a premier NFL quarterback. Plus we give midseason report cards on all 30 teams. That's all at NBCSports.com. 3rd and 2. Fake the pitch. Here's the reverse. Rod Smith Sinclair nudged him out at the 21. It's enough for a Denver first down by a yard.
Well, Michael Sinclair does a very nice job of staying home on the backside. Number 70 right here. Watch him come up the field, stay at home. But when you've got a matchup between a wide receiver and a defensive lineman, that defensive lineman should only be able to do just that. That's get there a little late and push him out of bounds.
Yeah, pretty good to do that. Here's big Mike Sinclair, 7th season from Eastern New Mexico, and the leading sackmaster on this Seahawks team. Davis, second effort, turns him out beyond the 35 to the 37-yard line. Again, the linebackers, Winston Moss and Chad Brown, get Davis to the turf.
Terrell Davis is a lineman's dream in that your job as a lineman is to get him the first 3 or 4 yards. Great combination block between Schlereth and Nalen, gets him the first 3 or 4. But watch the last 4. I mean, that was not blocking. That was leg strength and grind by Terrell Davis.
Davis, who had 207 yards on 42 carries against the Bills, got 7 on that one. Play action fake again. Elway standing wide open. Davis slips a man and is to the 37-yard line. His teammate Shannon Sharp yesterday said that Terrell Davis is having an amazing year, an astounding year. And in point of fact, if he continues at this pace, he will break Eric Dickerson's all-time NFL rushing record. That time, he showed us he can catch the ball as well.
Well, good patience by John Elway in the offense. Watch the coverage and the zones that are established in this area by the Seattle defense. Started to throw the ball early in the game. It wasn't there. What are they doing? They're throwing underneath and between the zones to try to loosen them up.
First down play. Terrell Davis. Blockers in front. Davis uses another blocker. And out of bounds just short of the Seahawks 40-yard line. Darrell Williams, the free safety, after a gain of 18, vintage Terrell Davis.
And also vintage Denver wide receivers. Willie Green, number 85. You talked about the block downfield. Fine blocking up front by the offensive line. Tony Jones, McCaffrey there. Watch Willie Green, 85. There he is right there. That is what these receivers do time after time in practice. It's dull. It's boring for skill guys to have to do it. But the success of Terrell Davis is reward enough for offenses that do that well.
Averaging nearly 10 yards a carry and 3 receptions as well. Hebron replaces him here and gets the call. 9-yard gain for Von Hebron. His 14th carry of the season. He's the 3rd leading rusher for the Broncos, but rarely does another running back touch the football other than Terrell Davis.
But when you get Von Hebron, you're getting much what you get with Terrell Davis. They're both kind of muscle and squirt. They'll muscle inside, but if they get that hole just wide enough to fit through, they will squirt for 5 and make your defensive backs make a play or at 6 points.
8th play of the drive that started on the 10-yard line. Davis still on the sideline. Hebron again. As a first down to the Seahawk 30. Sean Springs was the first to hit him. A sustained Denver drive that picks up another first down. Again, all the way back at their own 10 after the penalty.
Nice luxury for this Denver offense, too, to be able to give Terrell Davis a blow like that and have the guy that replaces him just come in and gain 10 yards or so rushing the ball.
Davis back in place on 1st and 10 from the 31 of Seattle. Seahawks lead 3-0. Play by Dean Wells, the linebacker in coverage, intended for Shannon Sharp. And Wells, in his 5th season from Kentucky, a 4th-round draft choice, broke on the football beautifully.
Well, what makes it even more special is Denver is in their rhythm. Here's Wells going that way. And John Elway, when he gets in the rhythm, is dangerous. And the linebackers know part of the rhythm is short drops, short passes, and he and Chad Brown are right there. In fact, Chad Brown just did a little overclap with the ball.
He did. He kind of whiffed on it, or he could have had the interception perhaps. Just couldn't react fast enough.
Wide open.
Sharp to the 10. 21-yard gain. Benny Blades prevented the touchdown.
Shannon Sharp's been awful quiet this year at tight end, period, but lined up at the tight end spot. Just a quick little thing. It's a zone defense by Seattle. He's right between the defensive backs. I mean, this is what you have to do with Shannon Sharp. You have to be patient. You have to give him the ball and know that he's going to get you the extra yards after the catch.
Seattle defense, though, gets pretty tough down at this part of the field. Davis to the 5-yard line. Nice tackle by Darrell Williams.
And that was a touchdown-saving tackle by Darrell Williams because of the job the guys up front do. Watch Nalen, Schlereth, and Zimmerman right here open up this hole for Terrell Davis. Just a gaping hole. Nice backside block by David Diaz-Infante, but you can tell Darrell Williams isn't there. Doesn't make that tackle like a linebacker. Terrell Davis is doing the mile-high salute.
Nearly 54% touchdowns in the red zone for the Broncos. Defense that time by Sean Springs. Howard Griffith made the catch, his 6th reception of the season, and Springs, who was victimized so many times in the loss to Denver in Game 2, made the play.
And really, they victimized him, he said, because of his aggressiveness. It wasn't because he got flat feet. It wasn't because he didn't know what he was doing. He was trying to get the ball. He was trying to make plays. And one thing he's learned from his new best friend, Warren Moon, on the team, the oldest and the youngest on the Seahawks, is relax, take it easy, do your job. And it reflects in the job that defense has done and the improvement in the numbers.
Dramatic improvement. 3rd down. Elway being chased, and it's knocked down by Mike Sinclair.
Fourth down.
So 4th down coming up.
Well, Greg McMacken, the defensive coordinator of the Seahawks there, called one of those old blitz zones, bringing the safeties off the corners, dropping Michael Sinclair. And sort of interesting when you drop a guy that last year sacked John Elway 4 times up in Seattle in 1 game. But there's McMacken, the coordinator there. He's got to mix it up. He's got to keep John Elway in the offense off balance. Jason Elam will attempt a 23-yard field goal, the hero of last week's overtime win at Buffalo. And he ties the game. Denver drives all the way from its own 10. Then they stall, but they get the field goal to tie it up. Cortez Kennedy may be feeling some of that mile-high altitude, but the Seahawks defense did its job. Kennedy and his mates holding the Broncos to a field goal after they had driven 14 plays and consumed over 7 minutes on the clock. Here's the kickoff taken by Harris. Bounces off a couple of would-be tacklers down to the 23-yard line. A 19-yard return. Timeout. A 3-3 game. John Elway engineering that last march, which began at the Bronco 10. They had a field goal out of it. Their 59th point in the first quarter, 2nd best in the league behind the Jaguars. And they're in a harder place in the league and a tougher crowd to play in front of on the road than the one right here in Mile High.
1:41 left, opening quarter. And there the noise costs the Seahawks 5 yards. Max Strong with the false start. And it's interesting, Randy, what you mentioned about being so tough to play here. The
false start, number 38 offense. Prior to the snap, it's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
The Seahawks have taken audibles out of their game plan this week.
Well, pretty much outside of hand signals to the receivers from Warren Moon because of the noise here. I mean, he audibleized over 30 times last week against the Raiders at home, and it was nice and quiet. But he's able to communicate now. It's part of the comfort zone, is communicating with hand signals to the receiver.
Chris Warren, the lone setback on 1st and 15. Screen to Warren. To the 20-yard line where Keith Traylor and Bill Romanowski make the tackle. Traylor, you remember, left the game earlier, a little shaken up, but only for a couple of plays back on the field. Meanwhile, Benny Blades, you see him on the sideline trying to stretch that back out. He's had back spasms. He told the coaches he would start today. They didn't know how long he could play, at least for now, until he can stretch that back out. He's not going to be in there.
That's why he's sitting like that on the ground. It's a lot easier on your lower back.
Moon bounced right off James McKnight. That's one he should catch. John Mobley on a blitz was putting the pressure on Moon, but he should have had a completion.
Well, you've heard that term, dodging a bullet, all the time. I'm not talking about McKnight dodging the bullet he didn't catch. Warren Moon dodges a bullet with a number 51 on it. Look at Mobley, clean up the middle. If he doesn't get that last little push from his offensive lineman out of the way, Warren Moon takes a full-on grill shot.
And James McKnight, who had his first 100-yard receiving game of his career against the Raiders last week, is a receiver that needs confidence, according to Warren Moon, and Moon says he tries to get him that, but that wasn't a confidence builder there. Bounced right off and incomplete. And now Warren Moon has to spend a timeout here. 57 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and we're tied at 3. Tonight, for 400 years, they stalked mankind. Now 3 legends of evil are alive again. A thrilling adventure, House of Frankenstein, 1997. NBC original event tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central on NBC. You know, for Halloween, what do you think Warren Moon would have dressed up as? A pink bunny or something? He keeps going and going. What else would be possible for Warren?
The Energizer?
It's pretty amazing man at 41 years old. And just to amplify on what we were mentioning earlier, he said a lot of, while no one gave him up for dead in Warren's Moons, a lot of people didn't think he could be the primary quarterback for any team yet. That's why this run by Warren Moon and the Seahawks has been so satisfying. He said among the most satisfying aspects of his long career.
Well, he knows he played hurt last year in Minnesota. He didn't play well, played hurt. He wanted to come back and prove he could play at his level.
Galloway will be short of the first down, wrapped up by Ray Crockett. Seattle has passed the ball 8 times and run it only once, true to the word of their coach Dennis Erickson, who said they were going to fill the air with footballs today.
And what they've seen out of the Denver defense is great discipline. They haven't made those mistakes. They haven't gone to the wrong spots. They've been called for a zone. They've been right exactly where they're supposed to be.
Darian Gordon awaiting the Rick Tootin punt. Gordon among the leaders in the NFL in punt returns, including a 94-yard touchdown against the Rams. He's got plenty of room here. Beautiful tackle made by Richardson. He just got him around the ankles after an 8-yard return. Looked like it could be more. The punt covered 43.
You know, Von Hebron's had those 2 kickoff returns sort of nullified by the penalties. Almost got himself a blocked punt right there. Came late, one of those kind of spy-type rushes, and he almost got right over Tootin's foot.
Just managed to get it away, and Hebron, look at him.
He knows he was close.
Just 9 seconds left in the opening quarter, a quarter that has seen both teams get a field goal. Elway takes over at his own 33-yard line. Terrell Davis, Griffith with a block in front. Davis turns the corner, lowers his head, and bangs to the 39-yard line. Tackled by Willie Williams as the first quarter comes to a close. 3-3 game in Denver. You're watching the NFL on NBC. The Denver defensive coordinator, is rallying his defense as they have a bit of a breather with John Elway on the field facing the Seahawks defense.
You know, Seattle's only run 1 time against that Denver defense for 3 yards, and you know, your first thing is say, why don't they pound that team? The problem isn't pounding. The problem is they've given up big rushes.
Elway pitching to Terrell Davis. Davis shedding tacklers, makes a nice run out of it to the 46-yard line. Jeremy Lincoln finally gets him by the shoe tops. Terrell wanted to take his mother's young kids trick-or-treating the other night, but didn't feel so. Had a bit of a chest cold, and his mother was over at Terrell's house. She has moved to Denver from San Diego, and she sort of manned the door as many of the trick-or-treaters came by to see Terrell, and were disappointed when they didn't get the treat of seeing the NFL's leading rusher. He was upstairs asleep, not feeling too well.
What does he dress for Halloween?
Yeah,
Superman?
He's got that cape, you're right. Elway. Wide open, Smith. Rod Smith. Knocked down by Darrell Williams. First reception of the day for the Broncos' leading receiver on the season, the former Missouri Southern quarterback, Rod Smith.
You know, the big contrast, you've got the number 1 and the number 2 offenses here, but you've got Seattle, who's a team that passes to set up the run later, and you've got a team in Denver that now, in contrast to what they used to be that type of team, now they rush the ball, and rushing the ball sets up the passing game for John Elway so beautifully with a play action.
Elway finding a Rod Smith that time. Smith has a dozen relatives in town, including his mom from Texarkana. Play action fake. John steps up, wide open again. It's Rod Smith. Darrell Williams wrestles him down, but 2 times in a row, Smith hit by Elway for big gains. This one 15 yards.
Yeah, we talked about the play action just earlier, and what that really provides John Elway is the pocket. Watch the horseshoe that forms around John Elway. You get a slight bite from the linebackers. They can't drop into the right zone. They're worried about Terrell Davis, and that opens up the passing lane for John Elway.
And also remember, the Seahawks now without Benny Blades, who remains on the sideline, replaced by Jay Bellamy. 8 of 11 early for Elway. Davis. First hit by Matt LaBounty, and then he falls forward for a gain of a couple. Maybe 1, actually. 7 rushes, 50 yards for Terrell Davis. So well ahead of his season's pace of 5 yards a carry.
I talked to him last week after the game. I said, Terrell, 42 rushes. Does it feel like it? He goes, you know, actually I thought I had like 20 or 25. We talked to him yesterday. What's he say? I thought it was 50 or 60. New story.
Short drop, Elway through the hands of Smith. Chad Brown putting a little pressure on Elway, unloaded it to Smith, couldn't hold on.
Oh, that was a play right there. Rod Smith, who's a very smart player. You mentioned the fact that he was a former quarterback. He knows defenses, and he knows when you go in there, not only is there a corner, there's probably a safety. And that was a reach up for the ball and a reach down with your arms, because you know that safety's coming.
7th play of the Denver drive. It's 3rd and 9, looking for their first conversion on 3rd and long. Elway scrambles free and delivers complete. Willie Green with the reception, giving Denver the first down. 12-yard gain. Elway took a shot.
He's flexing that right passing arm because he got a shot right there in the shoulder. It's a corner blitz. You're looking at an all-out attack John Elway situation. Nice job by Terrell Davis right there picking up Willie Williams. The offensive line does well. He has the time. He gets rid of it, and he takes a shot in the shoulder from Michael Sinclair. But notice that at the end, the hit is not a hit that starts at the head. It goes right into the shoulder and rocks the entire upper body. Remember that torn bicep tendon early in the year for John Elway? It's already a sore right arm.
And John maybe trying to clear the cobwebs a bit. Calls timeout. Denver has already amassed 152 yards in total offense, but only 3 points. First down here at the 14. On the swing pass from Elway with his 4th reception of the game. Knocked out of bounds by Chad Brown, showing his versatility as receiving out of the backfield. And there's John Elway, who was upset with that hit he took after he delivered that first down pass.
Well, you know what he did on that last play, though, Tom, is they're spreading the field out. They use Shannon Sharp. They start him at tight end, and they move him this way. They bring receivers down. They bring receivers over. Then they swing out Terrell Davis. Get a man coverage right there with Chad Brown. That is what they want to do with the offense. One-on-one on Terrell, and he'll win it.
Second down. Elway pumps one way, goes for the end zone, just deflected at the last second by Jay Bellamy, intended for Ed McCaffrey. Bellamy just flicked it away at the last instant.
And those are the kind of plays that the Seattle Seahawks will have to make if they give John Elway this much time. That offensive line is giving him forever, and if you're a defensive back, you have to do exactly what Bellamy did. That is assume the play is never over and just go. If you don't hear a whistle and you don't hear a loud scream out of this crowd, this play isn't over.
6 defensive backs, including Bellamy, on for the Seahawks. 3rd down and 6. The fade
Doesn't get any better than that.
John Elway made news earlier this week with that $82 million automobile dealership deal, and he had $1 million throw there, putting it to Willie Green for his 14th touchdown pass of the season. Jason Elam adds the extra point, and the Denver Broncos have taken the lead for the first time. They're up 10-3. Tom Hammond, Randy Cross in Denver, where Jason Elam is ready to kick off to Steve Broussard. After the Broncos take the lead on a 10-play, 67-yard drive. Squib kick taken by one of the up men. Now they lateral it back to Broussard. And Broussard fumbles the ball, but he was down. There's also a penalty marker down. Reggie Brown picked it up initially and lateraled it back to Broussard. Now Tom White will sort things out. It'll be against Seattle. And let's go back to the second touchdown catch of the season by Willie Green.
A great play call. Here's Darrell Williams, the safety. He's going to blitz. Jeremy Lincoln and Rod Smith right there on the outside. Watch the release off the line of scrimmage. Fakes inside and gets the outside immediately. From that point on, Jeremy Lincoln was beat. But right here for Seattle's defense, Tom, we mentioned the fact they're not running the ball. How many times yesterday did we hear from Dennis Erickson and his players, we've got to hold on to the ball. We need long drives. We have to keep John Elway and them off the field.
Well, you saw the scoring drive. In fact, Denver has run 30 plays to only 10 for Warren Moon. Another pass. Swing it to Chris Warren. He's got some room. Warren crosses the 20 and is out of bounds about the 21-yard line. John Mobley tracking down Chris Warren, who had a lot of green in front of him as he caught the swing pass from Moon.
Warren Moon in this offense, Tom, make no pretense. You mentioned it earlier about this is a team that wants to come out and just chuck it. They want to throw the ball, period, end of report. If they get a big run out of Warren, great. A big run out of Broussard, fantastic. But Warren Moon wants another 400-yard day.
First down, Seattle 21. They trail by 7. Moon under pressure, just got rid of it to Pritchard, and the former Bronco wrestled down just short of the 30 by the secondary of the Broncos as Bill Romanowski hit Moon just as he delivered the football.
You know, a big difference in the offense, though. Remember we talked about the calm. Greg Robbins said we have to get after Warren Moon. But he still looks calm. He knows Romanowski's coming. He knows he's going to get hit. And he stands there and takes it. Plays like that should be on highlight reels for young quarterbacks around the league with other teams to watch.
Of scrimmage, maybe a yard. Steve Atwater and Trevor Price getting him. Price playing in his first game, the Broncos' first-round draft choice this season from Clemson. Next Sunday, exciting NFL action continues. A doubleheader starting at 12 noon Eastern with the NFL on NBC. Then in Game 1, most of you will see the Jets take on the Dolphins. New York now in first place, sole possession of first for the first time since the 80s. Others will see the Chiefs and the Jaguars, the Bengals and the Colts. Game 2, most of you see the Patriots take on the Bills. Steve Broussard in the backfield runs into a stone wall. There's a flag down. John Mobley, the talented young linebacker for the Broncos, stacked it up.
I can't believe Broussard was in there, honestly. Warren is the hammer type halfback that they have. Broussard's more of the quick squirt and speed guy.
Tom White giving Seattle the thumb there. Let's see if it's against the Seahawks. Well, maybe
we don't know either, Tom.
Illegal formation, number 59. 5-yard penalty, third down.
That's a pretty good trick there. Called an illegal formation on Seattle Seahawks, and 59 is Joe Kane, a backup line.
I was going to say something didn't add up. Something didn't compute. 3rd and Moon whips it complete. Galloway stretches out for the first down. Darian Gordon had him wrapped up. Third catch of the day for Joey Galloway. People around America maybe don't know this young man from Ohio State in his third season. He's one of the best.
But you'll give Joey Galloway these all day. And you'll give Darian Gordon an attaboy for making a tackle like that against Galloway. Until this year, Galloway was, I think, the most feared punt returner in the league that nobody knew about. When he gets the ball and he has air around him, you got serious trouble.
First down pitch to Chris Warren. Looks for a block. Cuts up. And is banged down hard at the 36-yard line. A tough 3 or 4 yards for Warren. It was Alfred Williams and Bill Romanowski that put the hit on Chris Warren.
But Chris Warren had over 1,500 yards a couple years ago running just like that. He doesn't look like he's going fast. He doesn't look like he's getting very many yards. He's kind of a glide and go guy. But you look up, he gets 4. You look up, he gets 5. Suddenly he gets a little more go in his glide, and he gets 15 or 20.
Recapping the scores for you as you see, and again, the first time the Jets, with that overtime win, take sole possession of first place in the East since late in the '86 season. Moon punts once. His pass intended for Galloway is incomplete. Ray Crockett was defending Galloway that time.
Chris Warren is a running back getting a start today for the first time in a few weeks. He has dominated the AFC West over the years, over the last 3 or 4 with his rushing style. You know, look what he's done per game, though. This year, 48.3. It's going in the wrong direction for Chris Warren, but it's an adjustment to a new time. It's a new offense. This is a passing offense now.
And he had a bit of a hamstring problem, too. Warren, Moon sacked, still loose. Football up for grabs. Who has it? A mad scramble. I think the Broncos. Denver has it. Tyrone Braxton came on a blitz to knock the ball away, and then Darian Gordon finally corrals it for the Broncos. Big turnover. We'll take a timeout.
Warren Moon only suffered 10 sacks coming into this game, but right here, you gave Braxton on the outside, Trevor Price, the rookie's giving him pressure. And now that you want to just yell, dog pile, somebody get it.
And it was the Broncos that found the ball. They had the ball on the first turnover, and Terrell Davis. Late flag comes down as Davis advances to the 34-yard line, where he's hit by Cortez Kennedy, a penalty against the Broncos. Erickson saying, take it that way.
Holding, number 65, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Gary Zimmerman, the veteran, called out of retirement for the Broncos this season.
You know, on that play, Gary Zimmerman's job is to get quick jump position almost on the defensive end over him. And one of the things an offensive lineman will do is get that left hand out a little too wide. That's exactly, once you spin a guy around using that technique, you're facing that referee standing back there. Tom White threw that flag.
Don't go there. First and 20 from the 45-yard line. Fifth catch of the day. Chad Brown made sure, though, he didn't have any yards after the catch.
Well, if you might have thought Terrell Davis could get a little bit of a break not having to carry the ball 42 times this Sunday afternoon, they're not giving him the ball that much by handoff. They're giving him the ball overall that much. They're throwing him the ball. They're giving him the ball. I mean,
so he's carried 7 times and caught 5 passes.
Last week, it was a guy that had around 50 touches, and he might do it again this week.
Smith fumbled the ball, but it was out of bounds. Broncos retain possession. Willie Williams chasing down Rod Smith. 17-yard gain.
Great play design because you release Terrell Davis through the middle of the offense. Watch Terrell Davis go inside and then go out. At the same time, you're crossing a wide receiver. That just drives defenses crazy that are in man defenses. That's specifically designed to cause confusion and occasionally a little collision by defenders. They're not picks. They're accidental collision.
Right. 10-3 game here. The Broncos facing 3rd and 5 after Smith caught his 3rd ball of the first half. I don't know what the mix-up was in spotting the football, but Elway's looking over to the bench and still has plenty of time. Just 12 now on the play clock. Game clock inside 5.5 minutes, 2nd quarter. See the play clock down to 5. Elway gets it off. Deflected at the line of scrimmage and incomplete. I think that was Sam Adams that got a hand on that one. Or was it Cortez Kennedy? One of the two.
I believe it was Sam Adams over on that side, Tom. And that's one thing that this offensive line of Denver has done an excellent job is they've kept the face pressure away from Elway. You get Sam Adams on one side. You get Cortez Kennedy on the other side. Cortez Kennedy in a zone blitz is back as a linebacker, and in front of him is Sam Adams as a defensive tackle knocking it down.
So Jason Elam will attempt a field goal. He made a 23-yarder earlier. This one from 48. And it's good. Jason Elam from 48 to extend the Denver lead to 13-3. Denver Broncos convert the Warren Moon fumble into a field goal to make it 13-3. Jason Elam with the kick. Broussard races up to get it. Short kick. He takes it at the 11. Broussard's a speedster, just caught from behind short of the 40-yard line by Randy Hilliard. It was a 25-yard return. NBC tonight, for 400 years, they stalked mankind.
Vampires, werewolves, beasts, the Frankenstein monster.
Now they've all come back at the same time. An NBC original event, House of Frankenstein, 1997, NBC tonight.
The way that promo started, I thought they were talking about attorneys and agents.
A cheap shot. Seahawks got a field goal their first possession, nothing since. Moon hits Galloway. Close to a first down, short of midfield. Ray Crockett covering him as that battle continues. Warren Moon sacked for the first time and fumbling the last possession. We asked him, he's in that comfort zone. What's it take to get him out of it? Because teams have tried everything. The Raiders blitzed him repeatedly last week. You saw what he did. He threw 5 touchdown passes. He said, well, just keep at it. Just keep after me. And that's what Denver did.
Well, Denver has managed to get free people on him. Oakland never got free people on Warren Moon last week.
Broussard in the flat. Picks up 3 or 4 yards into Bronco territory at about the 47-yard line. Steve Atwater put a pretty good hit on Broussard at the sideline.
That wasn't a hit. That was a launching. I mean, Broussard's not the biggest running back in the world. You talked about his speed. But Steve Atwater is starting to get healthier and healthier. And that's bad news for running backs and receivers because this is the kind of treatment you'll get out of him. I mean, he's airborne. You got a good 6 inches underneath his legs when he went off the ground.
Former Falcon and Bengal, who played for Erickson at Washington State, Broussard. Here he is again. And he bursts free up the middle. Broussard has Braxton to beat and is out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
That is the kind of killer play this defense has suffered with. 27 yards by Steve Broussard. It's been the big play. It's not the little play. Teams are not just methodically marching the ball on this defense. It's been the fact that if you're going to be as aggressive as this defense is, you're going to try to get your shots on the quarterback. A running back is going to pop those runs on you. It's happened all around the league this year. That's why the run is back. The run's back because the big run's back.
Amazingly, Denver has allowed a 20-yard or better run in every game this season, and they're 7-1. Moon. That was a half-hearted effort by Chris Warren. The ball Warren certainly didn't break a sweat trying to catch that one. The big running plays against the Bronco defense.
And really, the ones of all these that really killed him was a Napoleon Kaufman right there. Also had a 57-yarder against him. I mean, that just broke this defense out there in Oakland a couple weeks ago.
Warren out of the game. Broussard returns. Moon. Touchdown. McKnight. 20-yard strike as James McKnight catches his third touchdown of the season, splitting Crockett and Braxton.
You know, that was a play that a Warren Moon makes, a John Elway makes, a Dan Marino makes. A normal quarterback can't put that ball through that porthole. Normal guys put it through doors and windows. That was a little porthole. Not a bad defensive play. Everyone was where they were supposed to be. Just Warren Moon threw a perfect pass to McKnight.
Todd Peterson for the extra point attempt. And he boots it through. Well, just when it looked like Denver was assuming control of the game, the Seahawks go 5 plays, 62 yards.
And they didn't exactly do it the long drive. They did it with the big plays. And on this play, watch the zone defense. Not a bad job by the defensive backs of the Denver Broncos. But watch the missile Warren Moon launches. There's no window there. That might even be smaller than a porthole.
That was pretty amazing. That was indeed.
As the safety is closing, watch Crockett, good body position. He knows he's got help inside. Wow. You've got a timing. I mean, that you can't even imagine how small that window is. That is less than 6 inches. And Warren Moon hits a moving object with a moving object. That's perfect.
And McKnight, who's in his 3rd season from Liberty, originally from Apopka, Florida, was wondering if he'd ever get a chance. He did well in practice, but never in a game until this season. Caught only 1 pass all of last season. He has 10 coming into today's game, and that was his 3rd touchdown reception of this 97 season.
And you mentioned one of his biggest supporters is Warren Moon. And as much of a supporter as Warren Moon is, and as good as he's done the last 2 weeks, James McKnight has still got to say, yay, I scored a touchdown, but now I got to go cover a kickoff.
Pretty good guy to have in your corner, though, Warren Moon. Hebron awaits the kick by Peterson. Has it at the 2. And Hebron bursts free. There's a flag. Von Hebron at midfield. Peterson, the kicker, bumps him out of bounds at the 40. Twice already, we have seen long returns wiped out by Hebron. This one, the best of them all, 58. Will it come back again?
You know, interesting enough, McKnight was the contain man on that side of the return at the last second, spurred up field, and he caused the hole in that return team, or the kickoff coverage team that gave that hole to Hebron.
Still thinking about that touchdown.
Return, holding, number 33. That penalty is declined. Illegal block in the back during the return, number 59. That penalty is declined. We also have illegal block in the back, number 32. That penalty is accepted. First down.
Well, take your choice.
Well, anyway, Mike Shanahan looks at it. You can say, hey, it's 30 yards of penalties. I don't know. Right of your screen, right there. There's the one. There's Veland, 32, with the push in the back. I mean, this is a bad performance so far. Not concentrating by the special teams players of the Broncos.
So they start from their 5, and Elway in his own end zone throws it away. That's amazing. What's Von Hebron saying to himself now? He's had 3 excellent returns, all wiped out by penalties.
He's got to go over the sideline to his guys in the special teams. Is it me? I mean, come on. Just is it me? You just don't like me or what?
He knew he should have had better candy when they came for that trick or treat.
He gave those little baby candy bars instead of the big ones.
Yeah, those little ones.
Whoever invented the little ones should be immediately taken out, shot, and killed.
6 penalties, 50 yards, and again we repeat, they've wiped out huge plays. Play action fake. Elway scrambling, wings throws it. Knocked down. No flag. Darrell Williams colliding with Rod Smith just as the ball arrived. And not a penalty marker, though the fans wanted one desperately.
Well, in real time, Darrell Williams gets there exactly the same time as the ball. Right there. That is a wonderful play. That is not interference. That's exactly what a free safety should do. That's your responsibility over the top. And that time, instead of reaching around, he reaches over and hits the ball.
Darrell Williams, who played for Dennis Erickson at Miami, then spent some time with the Cincinnati Bengals, timed it perfectly. It's 3rd and 10. McCaffrey open, cut down immediately by Jeremy Lincoln. That's his first catch of the game, and it's well short of the first down, and now Denver must punt from deep in its own territory. 2:31 left, second quarter, and a 13-10 game. Broncos on top.
We had a timeout by the Seahawks right here, Tom.
So trying to preserve a little of that time. 2:27 showing. And while we take a break here, let's check in with Greg Gumbel in New York for an update. Greg?
All right, Tom, at the Liberty Bowl, Mark Brunell drops back, doesn't find anybody, straight up the middle, untouched, 6 yards and a touchdown with the extra point. Jacksonville now with a 24-10 lead, less than 2 minutes to play in the first half in Tennessee. Tom.
All right, thanks, Greg. Here it's 13-10. Broncos with a tenuous 3-point lead in the closing stages of the second quarter, as Tom Ruin will punt from his own end zone.
There's a situation where Seattle's going to get wonderful field position if their special teams player is going to avoid a penalty.
Ronnie Harris awaiting the punt. High punt, but not too deep. Harris at his own 40 fumbled it, but it bounced right back into his hands. 47-yard punt with no return. Randy Hilliard tried to take it away from Harris, but the Seahawks retain possession. They have one timeout left plus the 2-minute warning.
Watch Ronnie Harris's eyes. He sees he's going to get plastered. He's got right there Randy Hilliard smoking in on him, and at the last second he takes that peek and loses the ball.
That was a perfect illustration of taking your eye off the ball, wasn't it? Harris, lucky it came right back to him.
I'll be honest, I would never have looked at anything but the guy trying to hit me.
That's why you didn't return any punts. But
no big threat.
Steve Broussard is in the backfield here. First down at the 41. Move hit. Somehow it got by Alfred Williams, who had dropped back on the zone blitz, and Pritchard made the catch.
This is an example of Warren Moon's arm strength. Because once Bill Romanowski gets through with the Seattle Seahawks quarterback, the only thing moving in the right direction is his arm. A good blitz, a wonderful catch, a wonderful throw. These guys are for real.
The Domino's Pizza NFL and NBC halftime report. Greg, Joe, Sam, and Chris with scores and highlights from today's NFL action. 2 minutes left, first half. Seattle with the ball at midfield. Moon over the head of Galloway and incomplete. Tim McKyer defending Galloway, who looked like he was coming back for the ball, and it kind of sailed on Warren Moon.
Even with 2 minutes to go, second and about 2 feet is the perfect down for a Warren Moon to take a shot and take a chance. And he realized right at the end of that play there was nothing really to do. That ball was not thrown per se to be a completion. It was thrown not to be an incompletion.
Dennis Erickson told us they would put the ball in the air today, and as you saw the play selection they have, see if they run here though on third down and a yard. Broussard bounces to the outside. Bad choice. Tim McKyer came up from the corner and knocked Broussard down.
I don't care how fast Broussard is. He has to have heard all week long that this defense is fast. You don't go go sideways. Tim McKyer plays the responsibility of the defense perfectly and does a nice job of knocking the Seattle running back down. Don't go outside.
And you wonder why Chris Warren, who, as you pointed out earlier, is the banger, wasn't in there on 3rd and 1. He did see some time the last series, then went out and hasn't returned. Tootin's punt. Darian Gordon calls for the fair catch. Makes it at about the 11-yard line. 42-yard punt by Tootin. As we resume our look at the scores as Minnesota beats New England 23-18, holding on. Buffalo just edging Miami. That great Bills defense.
That defense is, I'm almost as impressed by that Bills defense as I am by that Jets team in general. This can't be the same group of Jets players from last year, Tom.
In first place
that
now.
Blew every single opportunity to win a game last year. Now they're not making those mistakes.
Well, only 20 players from last year on the Jets roster this year, so those players didn't do it. Cincinnati gets a needed win. Terrell Davis at a yard. Jay Bellamy wrapped him up. And here are the late games here in Denver. 56 seconds left till halftime, and the Broncos leading the Seahawks by 3, 13-10. Timeout taken here. One timeout remaining each way with 56 ticks left on the clock. And we'll hope you'll join us next Saturday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern for America's Day at the Races, the Breeders' Cup. The world's best horses and jockeys at Hollywood Park. Next Saturday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBC, and Thunder will not be there. But many of the best in the world will be. It's been somewhat of a survival of the fittest lately, with some of the top contenders going down with injury, but in the previous 13 editions of the Breeders' Cup, I can tell you it's never failed to deliver some high drama and top-class action. Breeders' Cup Saturday. Elway's second down pass overshoots Willie Green. Green wanted a flag, but there are none forthcoming. It'll set up a third down with 52 seconds left.
Yeah, defensively on both sides, one of the great things that Mike Shanahan and Dennis Erickson are seeing on the football field right now is that defenses are being allowed just to sort of play. They're not over-officiating. They're not throwing too many plays on the flags on the defenses. Both these defenses are playing a lot of man and being very aggressive.
The special teams, however, not exempt from the flags.
Not at all.
Elway steps up, and now will run. Sliding down safely short of the 20-yard line. It'll be 4th down. Seattle uses its last timeout to stop the clock with 41 seconds. So Warren Moon's going to get another crack at it before halftime.
You don't relax around either one of these quarterbacks, and that was the nice job about Seattle's defense right there. They didn't say, well, gee, end of the half, we can just sort of coast in here. They kept the pressure on John Elway. Now it's up to the Denver defense to keep putting the pressure and taking the shots on Warren Moon and the Seattle offense. The key really to getting that pressure on John Elway and stopping this offense is last 5 plays on first down. The Broncos have only gained 6 yards.
Moon has passed for 108 yards and hoping to add to that when he gets the ball back. Ronnie Harris awaits the punt by Ruin. Remember, Harris fumbled the last one but got it back. Good punt. Harris, 36-yard line. Taken down immediately. Mobley, the leading tackler in special teams with help from Dodge, 33. Made a nice play on Harris. 48-yard punt, only 2 on the return.
And Mobley is the Terrell Davis of this Broncos defense. He does it all. I mean, Davis, you talk about the percentage of carries and catching the ball out of the backfield, but John Mobley, to me, is the best young linebacker in the NFL because of his explosive ability on tackle. He can tackle through running backs and receivers better than anybody his age in the NFL.
From Kutztown State in Pennsylvania, the same college that produced Andre Reed. 21 seconds. Being rushed and throws it behind Blades. Incomplete. Warren had to get rid of that one, or he was in deep trouble as they were all over him.
Well, he was just hoping that Brian Blades was going to make the same decision that he made. He got so much pressure getting the blitz from the outside from Atwater. Braxton on the other side. That means coverage from a linebacker. Blades was being covered by Bill Romanowski. He broke one way, and Warren didn't have enough time to see that.
The blitzers were coming faster than the snow was falling here a week ago, and Moon was lucky to get rid of it. Draw play, Broussard tries to get to the outside. Somehow manages to outrun them to the corner, but a minimal gain to the 40-yard line does stop the clock with 20 seconds left.
That is the only reason to go wide at this time of the game, period. See Bratkowski there, the offensive coordinator, Bob Bratkowski for the Seattle Seahawks. I'm sure he's drilled into his players' minds the speed of this defense is critical. Sure, get out of bounds, but don't go wide unless you absolutely have to.
It's now 3rd and 6 for the Seahawks. Ball at their own 42. They trail by 3. It up. Galloway tries to run under it. Can't quite get there. Covered by Darius Johnson. And Moon again down in the face of the Bronco rush.
Warren Moon just sort of launches a mortar and hopes the settings are right on the tube. He knows he's getting all sorts of pressure. He's got Mobley coming. He's got Price coming, the rookie. And when he threw that ball, Joey Galloway was only about 20 yards away and had no intention for another 10, 15 yards of turning and looking for a football.
Well, it's become a punt fest here in the last couple of minutes of the half. Gordon lets it bounce. And rolls dead about the 4-yard line with the half coming to a close. 54-yard punt to close things here for the first half. Warren Moon and the Seahawks sputtering late but putting up 10 points. And at halftime, Denver leads 13-10. Now let's join Greg Gumbel in New York.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Domino's, delivering 1 million smiles a day.
The Broncos leading the Seahawks 13-10. Difference in the game right now, field goal that the Broncos got after Warren Moon fumbled the only turnover that first half, but it would be radically different without a lot of special teams penalties, huh?
It really is. That is the difference. Both offenses have been knocked out of rhythm, but the biggest difference right there at the bottom, and especially the Denver ones. Without these 3 kickoff return penalties that Denver's had on their kickoff returns, negating some great returns by Hebron, this is a totally different ball game.
And a quick look there at the Coors Light halftime stats as the kickoff is taken by Ronnie Harris from the Seattle end zone and fumbled the football, and it is recovered for a touchdown. Darius Johnson picking it up after Harris fumbled it. Remember, he fumbled a punt earlier and recovered it. This time, Denver gets a cheap score off the fumble. Yeah, that'll bring a smile to your face.
In a game we came into figuring we're going to see the big plays, the firepower coming out of the offenses. It's been the special teams that have been victimized. And right now, Ronnie Harris has got himself on a little set of goat horns off of almost muffing the punt and giving the Broncos now 10 points off of turnovers.
And now ready for the extra point attempt by Elam. And he boots it up and through. So 11 seconds elapsed, third quarter. Harris fumbling and Darius Johnson takes
ball bounces out. This is the 5th return touchdown for the Denver Broncos this year. In 94, 95, and 96, they had 2 returns for touchdowns, the 5th so far in 9 games.
Cadrez knocks it loose. Darius picks it up and has the score.
And this is the way special teamers are taught. The first guy gets there, tries to strip it. The second person's supposed to be there to either make the tackle or recover the turnover.
Darius Johnson gets the touchdown, and suddenly the Broncos have increased their lead to 10. And Harris is back there again. Are you surprised he's still there?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Dennis Harrison has faith in his returner. Plus, to be honest, he has nobody he wants to really risk. You can't put a Galloway or a Broussard back there.
Harris from the 1. Hurdling, and a flag down. Hurdling his way to the 30-yard line. Randy Hilliard tripped him up.
And a holding is going to be called on the Seattle return team.
Harris managed to hold on to it, but a decent return will be brought back.
Holding, number 29, during the return, 10-yard penalty, first down.
On that fumble on the last play by Ronnie Harris, watch something. Last week, Warren Moon threw a pass that bounced off of Galloway's foot and went for a return for a touchdown. That ball bounces off Cadrez's leg and ends up for a touchdown the other way.
He could be a goalie based on that. High formation, Strong, and Chris Warren back in the game. And Warren gets the call, crosses the 20-yard line, tripped up by Steve Atwater.
Hey, when you're playing Mile High, Tom, when you start a game or you start a half and you're an offense, you want to take this Mile High crowd out of it. That is not the way to take the Mile High crowd out of it. And Warren Moon came in here without audibles already. He needs to establish the run like he's doing to try to quiet this crowd a little bit.
To Warren, Moon's pass is complete to Pritchard. Pritchard picks up a first down, his 4th catch of the game. Former Bronco then taken down by Steve Atwater. Look at the scores one more time. The Jets in first place. Wow. Still can't get over that.
It sets up a huge game next week down in Miami with the Jets going down there. Jimmy Johnson's team losing to Buffalo, falling to 5-4, along with the Patriots and the Bills. You get a little space if you can win that game.
Anytime the Jets and the Dolphins play, it's a good game, regardless of the record. Now, it's a fight for first place. Reverse to Galloway. He loves running this play, and he ducks to the outside. He picks up 9. Stopped at the 40 by John Mobley. Made a nice open field tackle of Joey Galloway.
It's worth the effort when you've got a Joey Galloway to create reasons and ways to get him the ball. A little short slot, you've got to always, as a defense, assume he can go back the other way. You're trying to take advantage of an over-aggressive defense. That was a pure running play because the defense never reacted the wrong way. That was just more Galloway speed than Denver speed.
Joey told us, though, he still wants to throw a pass off that play. They won't let him. Chris Warren didn't need but a yard for the first down. That's about all he got.
Have you ever talked to a receiver that's run a reverse in a production meeting that did not think he had the arm to be a quarterback? Or, you know, it's the weapon that my coach doesn't understand. He's leaving this out of the arsenal.
Just like all the defensive backs want to be receivers, and the reason they're defensive backs to start with is those bad hands, huh?
Good rhythm so far for Moon and his offense.
He's at the 42 for the first down. Warren in the flat. To to the 45-yard line. Steve Atwater wrapped him up. Dennis Erickson telling us that Warren, the man who led the AFC in rushing in '94, hasn't quite been himself because he's been a little, well, tentative, for lack of a better word, hesitating before he runs up and down the field, making a hesitation to look for a spot instead of just banging straight ahead.
Hey, exactly. That's what really hurt him on that one play. You saw him just sort of, half-heartedly reach back for the one pass earlier in the second half. That's not how you, or in the first half, that's not how you prove to your coach you're committed.
Here he is again. And this time he makes a pretty good run close to midfield with John Mobley hanging on. It's almost a flip-flop here of offensive strategy, isn't it? Because we saw Warren Moon and the offense of the Seahawks almost exclusively go through the air in the first half. Now in the second half, at least so far, they've been working the ground game.
And on 3rd and short, too, they've got some substitutions coming in. Harold Hasselback's come out of the game, and Ernest Jones is in at defensive end. They'll be over the right tackle, House Ballard.
4 wide receivers in this formation: Galloway, McKnight, Pritchard, and Blades. 3 to the bottom of the screen. Quick drop, bad pass. Moon overshoots McKnight, and the Seahawks will have to punt.
That was the first pass you can truly say Warren Moon was off on today so far, because he's got the big cushion, and when you give a big cushion on a 3rd and short like this, Moon should have been able to just stand up and just flip it out there for a first down. Instead, he led his receiver.
Tootin to punt. Gordon calls for the fair catch. Makes it at the 12-yard line. 39-yard punt. Looks like there's another flag down. And what else on a special teams situation? Illegal procedure against the Seahawks.
And I'm not sure if you're Denver, you really want to give Rick Tootin another chance to put you into more of a hole.
See what the decision is.
We have a violation of the substitution rule. Number 39 on the kicking team did not get inside the numbers. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
It's always something in. That's what Dave Arnold, the special teams coach, was saying over on the sideline. Look at that. That pretty well sums it up.
You've got to come all the way in off the sideline inside the numbers to be an official entry and substitution into a football game.
Jeremy Lincoln, the guilty party. Tootin only booted that last one 39 yards, so let's see about the decision if it was a good one.
He's a good directional kicker, though, Tom.
Gordon has to go back to the 5 to get this one. Bounce to the outside, not much there. That time he booted it 51 yards. Shouldn't have given him that second chance.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Chrysler, engineered to be great cars. By Lotus, work the web with Lotus Domino. By Visa, the official card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be. And by the National Cattlemen's Beef Association and Beef Board. Beef, it's what you want.
Sean Springs, the rookie cornerback of the Seahawks, 3rd player taken in the draft from Ohio State, playing with a fractured right thumb now. Suffered that injury in the first half. He's had it taped up and padded. Fractured right thumb, but Springs is out there. Let's see if the Broncos go after him. They'll go to Terrell Davis on 1st down, reverses his field, and makes a loss into a gain, albeit not much, but a positive from a negative.
You know where they were going, though, Tom? That was an attempted sweep out to the right side at Springs. If I'm Denver, I find a way to make him make tackles with that bad thumb. I find a way to go after him. He's a young guy. I'm pretty positive he's never a football game, much less an NFL game, with that kind of an injury. Challenge him, make that be his first priority and not his duties.
He's there at the bottom of the screen covering McCaffrey, who burned him in the first meeting between these two teams week 2. Davis on the sweep. Hit by Chad Brown and Winston Moss. It'll bring up a 3rd down play. Elway's hit 14 of 24. Only 10 carries for Terrell Davis.
A measly 5.3 per carry. At that average, he had 200 last week. Of course, he also had about 30 carries by this time last week.
Of course, that big stat, 10 points off Seattle turnovers. That's the difference in the game. Elway scrambles free of trouble. Crosses the 20. Cut down hard by Tim Houck, but he picked up the first down. Elway scrambles for the first down.
A smart veteran quarterback. Watch the twist by the defensive tackles inside. Open up the gap in the middle. Adams goes inside. Cortez Kennedy comes around. And look at the hole that opens up for John Elway. I mean, he can read defensive linemen just as well as he can read defensive backs.
Tom Nalen with a pretty good block on Cortez Kennedy. Third time today, Elway has pulled it down and run. Quick drop, nobody home. Here's his third option. McCaffrey can't get there.
John Springs helped break that one up. We've now seen his first contact since he had that cast on his hand. And, you know, he, along with the other defensive backs, do a great job of staying with the responsibility. Watch Willie Williams. Does he ever think this play is over? Does he assume the ball isn't coming to his guy? No. I mean, Sean Spring comes in late, gets a little contact on that hand. You saw him hold it up a little while ago. Try to make that an issue. Try to make him an issue.
All-American with the Buckeyes. His dad, Ron, played at Ohio State and with the Dallas Cowboys. Elway on target. Complete to Rod Smith. First down, Denver.
Well, the Seattle defense has managed to make Shannon Sharp a non-issue since early on, but they're still having the trouble with Rod Smith coming out of the slot. We talked earlier about Warren Moon threading that ball through that small hole to get his touchdown. That was an equally small window John Elway threw that one through.
4 catches for Rod Smith. He's always been an achiever back in Texarkana. His older sister used to give him money for good grades. Now he's getting good grades from the coaches. As Elway fumbles the snap.
That ball kicked off some feet. It moved around after John Elway dropped it.
And Seattle has it. First Denver turnover of the game.
Usually on a bad snap, if the ball will drop straight down, the quarterback has immediate access to it. What you have to watch here is as the ball is dropped and as the fumble starts, where's the ball go? See it moving around inside the offensive lineman's feet, actually gets into Elway's feet, and it's picked up off his feet. He couldn't get his hands back down to it.
And I believe it was Martin Harrison playing in his first game this season that made the fumble recovery. First turnover by the Denver Broncos. Elway's fumble, but they lead by 10. Terrell Davis taking a little oxygen on the sideline as the Denver fumble gives Seattle the ball. 34-yard line of the Broncos. Warren Moon flips it incomplete over the head of Chris Warren.
Got a flag down.
Penalty marker. Back at about the 20-yard line of the Broncos.
Could be a little holding defensively against linebacker Bill Romanowski working on the tight end Crumpler.
That'll be an automatic first down for Seattle.
Holding, number 53, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Romanowski with the hold.
And they really, Crumpler's been a non-issue right here at tight end. Tries to get up in the middle of the field. Romanowski hits him, but after he hits him, he holds on. You saw that hand and that stretch of the jersey. That's what the official saw, deep middle.
Now from the 29. Moon, swing pass complete to Warren. Warren lowers his shoulder, bangs his way to the 25-yard line, knocking Steve Atwater out of bounds along with him.
Well, you look at Steve Atwater kind of bouncing like, hey, that was a fluke. You heard the laughing.
He said that was fun.
Well, Steve Atwater is not used to going in that direction, but even the great contact guys on defense, if you don't have the proper body position, you got the wrong leverage with the shoulder, you're going backwards.
Atwater has been good for a long time. Chris Warren makes a little cutback, has a first down, just short of the 15-yard line. Picked up by Darius Johnson.
Been talking about the backside and the job the blocking's been doing for Denver. Watch the backside blocks here by the right side of the offensive line for Seattle. The offside. House Ballard, Crumpler. See House Ballard standing off with Mobley there. That's the kind of runner that Chris Warren is. He wants to glide, see the hole, and go.
Used his blockers well that time. It's first down at the 17. Moon sacked as he tried to bootleg. Second sack of the day at Moon. Harold Hasselback replacing Neil Smith does his best Neil Smith imitation with a sack back to the 30-yard line.
Well, when you coach a defensive end, you tell them, when you see action away, never flatten out. You've always got to come up. Look at Hasselback. He doesn't let the blockers let him flatten out. He comes straight up the field. That's the one player and the one thing that kills that play for an offense.
1.5 sacks now for Hasselback. Well, the Broncos have gotten 10 points off Seattle turnovers. Seattle trying to capitalize here. Just got the play off. Moon nearly intercepted. Intended for Blades. Ray Crockett nearly had it, and he would have been gone.
Remember the comfort and the calm we saw earlier out of Warren Moon. The Denver defense shows blitz inside. They give him blitz outside with the safeties, both Braxton and Atwater. And he hurries the throw to the outside and almost pays with 6 points the other way. Crockett made a wonderful play last week in Buffalo on a play, the ball that was bobbled. Made an interception.
Now 3rd and 20. Moon completes the pass to Crumpler, his first catch of the day, and he's welcomed with a vicious hit by Mobley and Darius Johnson.
Any questions now about what kind of a contact linebacker John Mobley is? I mean, some guys' hits look good. John Mobley's hits sound good.
Field goal attempt upcoming on 4th down. It'll be a 41-yard attempt by Todd Peterson. He hit from 52. High snap. Kick is on its way, and it is true. Todd Peterson's second field goal of the day narrows the Bronco lead to 7.
Broncos will be getting the ball back, and John Elway wants to be sure he and his center, Tom Nalen, are on the same page snap-wise. Last time we saw him, they dropped one.
Discussing that while we were away, and they'll be on the field shortly. Vaughn Hebron takes the kickoff. Fumble. And Seattle has it again. Max Strong dislodged the ball from Hebron. Looks like Jeremy Lincoln comes up with the football.
Special teams on both sides has just been putrid so far today. But Denver, I mean, I know that Seattle's given up a touchdown, but Denver has been cost the most dearly by these mistakes. Penalties, turnovers. What are you thinking?
Can Seattle now take advantage?
Earlier, the problem on Hebron's returns were penalties that nullified great returns. He has only himself to blame here. That's the second fumble recovery against Denver. They only had 4 fumble recoveries against them out of 8 games.
Moon gets it to Blades. Blades goes one-on-one, gets a step, inside the 10-yard line on Darian Gordon.
I'll tell you one thing that's very telling. Last two possessions for the Seattle Seahawks are getting so much pressure, so much blitz. You're not seeing this offense go in the end zone. With the weapons they have, with the Galloways and the Blades and the McKnights, take your shots down the field. They're throwing short because Denver's defense is bothering Warren Moon with these blitzes.
It's close enough that they will measure for the first down. Already we've seen Denver get 10 points off Seattle turnovers. Seattle got a field goal a moment ago. Now they try to get 10 to tie the game.
And right now this football game has sort of settled into a who's going to out-ugly who. Doesn't get any uglier than bad special teams.
It is a first down by half the length of the football. The NFL season extends to the World Wide Web on NFL.com, the league's official website. Visit NFL.com for all the scores and stats, including a complete roundup of this weekend's scores and action, plus chat live with some of the NFL's biggest stars, all at NFL.com.
One of the big stats you'll find on NFL.com is red zone efficiency. Warren Moon, they need a touchdown here.
First and goal from the 6. Chris Warren banging his way inside the 5-yard line down to about the 4. Check of the late games. Dallas continues to lead San Francisco, and Jacksonville up 10 on Tennessee. Arizona putting it to Philly.
Tom, keep an eye on Joey Galloway right here working with Warren Moon. They get the coverage they like. It's not against Warren Moon's nature just to flip one out and let his little receiver do it.
Galloway wide, bottom of the screen, now in motion. Moon rolls, passes, touchdown. Max Strong, the fullback, with a 4-yard touchdown catch off the fumble kickoff return by Vaughn Hebron.
Well, as bad as some of the plays are we've seen on special teams, we've seen some wonderful passes by these two quarterbacks to covered receivers. Because honestly, John Mobley has good coverage on Strong. Warren Moon threw that in the only position that ball could be caught by his receiver.
Talk about efficiency. Strong now has 7 receptions, 2 touchdowns, 1 carry for 1 yard this season. So 2 touchdowns for Strong as Moon found him that time. There's Strong. Todd Peterson's extra point would tie it. And he's got it. There is a flag down, however.
Well, of course, it's special teams out here.
How could I have been so foolish to call that good?
As holding against Seattle, that moves the whole exercise back 10 yards.
Holding, number 88, during the try, it's a 10-yard penalty, and we'll retry.
Deems May lined up as the wing tight end, wing back there. Held as the attempted blocker was running around him.
So now it's a 30-point extra point attempt. Peterson's kick is still good. And that has tied the score thanks to Max Strong. Caused the fumble, then caught the touchdown pass. 2 turnovers apiece, 10 points apiece off the opponent turnovers. The last committed by Vaughn Hebron. It's been a rough afternoon for Vaughn. 3 wonderful returns nullified by penalties, and then he fumbled the last kickoff return. Takes this one just a yard deep. Hebron just tripped up at the 21-yard line. He just about burst free again. Right now, let's go to New York and check in with Greg Gumbel for an update. Greg?
All right, Tom, at the Liberty Bowl, don't count out the feisty young Oilers just yet against Jacksonville. Rodney Thomas dips and darts 3 yards for a touchdown with the extra point. The Oilers are within 10 of the Jaguars, 27-17. Jacksonville in the lead in the late stages of the third quarter, Tom.
All right, Greg, thanks. Late stages of the third quarter here as well. We're tied at 20. That old turnover game. First down carry, Terrell Davis gets him 4 yards to the 25, where he's tackled by Matt Labonte.
Hey, that sets up a whole different play calling sequence for Mike Shanahan's offense. The previous 7 first downs, they've gained 7 yards. I mean, that almost tells you have to pass the ball. Now you get into this situation. Now the play action works, and so does the quick flip type sweep to Terrell Davis.
And they got 4 yards on that first down. Fake to Davis. Elway's in trouble. There's a flag down. So's Elway. The pass is incomplete. Sam Adams putting the pressure on Elway. The flag is back in the secondary, however.
It's against Seattle.
How can he hold? He's got a cast on his right thumb.
His left hand's fine. See, that left hand works just fine. The right hand brushed off, but Rod Smith couldn't get away from that left gripper.
Well,
you got to do that. Make it an issue. Make him use it.
And there, the penalties are all even. Talk about a game that's just about dead even. Elway on a bootleg. You heard the hit as he went down hard at the 40, just short of the first down. Darrell Williams put it on him.
Yeah, but that's no frail little quarterback we're talking about in John Elway. And it's not the first time he's taken a big hit. This one from Darrell Williams. Let's listen.
Ouch. Second down a yard. Terrell Davis. He may have it, but not by much. Michael Sinclair wrapped him up almost immediately. Chad Brown came to help. It is enough for the first down, though.
You know, it's as much a testament to the frustration level of the Broncos as it is to the job that the Seattle defense is doing, that Denver's resorting to a naked boot with John Elway. When you've got a Terrell Davis and you've got the weapons offensively you have throwing the ball, you've got John Elway running the ball.
Shannon Sharp telling us that of all the teams they play, the Seahawks usually do the best job on him. That's been true again today. Play action fake. Elway with time. Going for Smith. He's got it. Touchdown. And once again, it's Sean Springs that is victimized.
I keep saying it, you've got to make it an issue. If a cornerback does not have his hands, he can't jam. If he can't jam, he can't knock a receiver off stride. And if you can't knock a receiver off stride, you can't hang with him. Sean Springs was never in that play, had nothing to do with the hand, had a lot to do with the Rod Smith, though.
59-yard strike, Elway to Smith.
John Elway with his, go ahead, hit me again.
Rod Smith with the touchdown catch, the extra point, Jason Elam. Boots it through. And so the Broncos recapture the lead thanks to that electric play that victimized the rookie cornerback of Seattle, Sean Springs. He's going to have dreams about Denver blue and orange for the next few weeks. Victimized in game 2 and here again this week.
Well, it wasn't McCaffrey that time. It was Rod Smith. Remember, you can't hit. What do? You play off, you play soft. He's not going to challenge. When he doesn't challenge, he's going to be a victim because Rod Smith can go anywhere he wants and dictate the route to the defensive back.
5 receptions, 114 yards, including that touchdown for Rod Smith. That was his 5th touchdown reception of the season.
You mentioned his sister paying him for grades. Just give him $1 per A. I wonder if he pays maybe at least 5 for 6 points.
At least. And for Rod, the family, 12 of them from Texarkana in to see him play today and next week against Carolina. Meanwhile, Sean Springs, he told us he was tired of hearing about that first game against Denver when everything went wrong for him. He said, I guarantee it won't happen tomorrow, as we talked to him yesterday. And Of course, it hasn't been quite as intense, but that was the go-ahead touchdown. He just surrendered.
They didn't over either.
Short kick. Best they can do is fall on it. James Atkins covers it up. NBC tonight, they thought a serial killer was on the loose.
I don't think he's human, and he's taking out my city.
The only explanation was impossible to believe. 3 legends of evil are alive in L.A. An NBC original event. House of Frankenstein, 1977. NBC tonight.
Could you pick a better town to blend in than?
You said that. I did. Chris Warren, Max Strong, I formation behind Warren Moon. He's at his own 19. Wide open Galloway has a first down at the 34-yard line. Hit by Steve Atwater. Less than a minute 30 now remaining in the third quarter.
Now here's where the veteran leadership of Warren Moon is at its best for this offense. Normally offenses tend to get a little desperate when it looks like you're getting into kind of a shooting match with John Elway and the Broncos here in Mile High. Warren Moon will be able to say, look at the crowd, don't worry. Take a deep breath, stay calm, let's just do our jobs.
Chris Warren hit hard by Alan Aldridge, the middle linebacker of the Broncos.
As a matter of fact, talk about the calmness. Joey Galloway told us yesterday when we met with him that, hey, I look over and I see Warren Moon sitting on the sideline. Look like he's about to fall asleep. He's so cool and calm, like it's no big deal. So I went over and sat down next to him. Kind of sat there, looked at him. Am I doing it right? Is this how you stay calm? When do I get up?
Galloway grew up Bel Air, Ohio, and Lynn Swan and Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Pritchard, wonderful catch, and then he lost it. Darius Johnson hit him. It looked like Pritchard had it for a moment.
As he removes a little divot from his helmet, this pass is overthrown by Warren Moon and almost brought in. See the right hand of Darius Johnson came on and slapped the ball. That's what caused it. It was a good attempt at a catch and a good recovery by Darius Johnson.
Mike Pritchard went to Colorado for his college football and played 2 years with the Broncos. Only 1 of 7 on 3rd and long, and it's 3rd and 10 for Seattle. Galloway just undressed the defense. Now they take the ball away. Crockett, they say no, it'll be Seattle ball, I believe. Galloway had Crockett all the way downfield, broke the pattern off, made the catch, got up and continued running, and then Crockett thought he'd taken it away.
Well, what this is right here, Joey Galloway, this is pure respect. I talk about his speed, Tom, you talk about his speed. And I'm sure Crockett and the defense have talked about that speed all week long. It was a catch, there was a whistle. The key was the whistle.
And you could hear the whistle before the ball was stripped away. If you just look at it, you might think it was good, but if you hear the whistle, play was blown dead.
Now the complaint from Warren Moon and the Seahawks players is, gee, doesn't the clock stop? He was out of bounds. He wasn't out of bounds. His motion was determined to be stopped.
And that bizarre play brings the third quarter to a close. We'll return after these messages from your local station. You're watching the NFL on NBC. Well, that was a controversial play that ended the quarter. Did the whistle sound or not? Let's watch and listen. Galloway now tries to run. And there you hear the whistle after Crockett already had the ball, but I think it was just reaction time. Little consolation for Bronco fans, however. I think the official, his reaction time to blowing the whistle was before Crockett could take the ball away.
Oh, he knew what he meant to do. He just didn't blow it when he meant to blow it.
Very clear. Thanks, Randy.
You don't always see examples of slow lips, but that was slow lips.
Well, Crockett thought he had one very similar to last week when he took it away against Buffalo. 7-point lead for Denver, and thanks to that last touchdown. And Seattle trying to answer. Who else? Joey Galloway, first down, 35-yard line. Tyrone Braxton had to tackle him after he made his 7th catch of the game.
You know, another example of that respect being given Joey Galloway. It softens that defensive umbrella. The speed softens the umbrella. He settles in the spot and makes the catch. On that last play and that last tackle, as you see Galloway being checked, his pads being readjusted, Darian Gordon, the number 23, the defensive back, came off the field. He was banged up.
Warren dropped for a loss by Darian Gordon.
I've seen more safety and corner blitzes out of Robinson's defense for Denver today than I've probably seen in the last 2 or 3 weeks we've seen this football team. Gordon, coming from the far outside, normally lines up at the right cornerback position, comes all the way from the left side out of the slot to make that stop. Greg Robinson is pulling it all out to come after Warren Moon.
2nd and 12. Galloway, top of the screen. McKnight to the bottom. Chris Warren. Collisions abound. Warren bounces off and gets it to the 29-yard line.
The first collision was James McKnight coming back and making a fabulous block down the field for Chris Warren, who, you know, I keep saying about gliding and going. Watch at the end here before the contact, maybe a little too much glide. Go, don't glide. There's the block by McKnight coming back. Watch McKnight, breaks off his pattern, knows he's now a blocker, and gets a great shot on Alan Aldridge, the inside linebacker, 57.
3rd and 4. Quick drop by Moon. He has his man McKnight. McKnight cuts back. He's to the 8-yard line. 1st and goal, Seattle. John Mobley saved the touchdown. They had trips to the top. Only McKnight to the bottom.
That was a pull on a sock away from being another broken tackle and touchdown for McKnight. Good respect also for the speed of that Seattle receiver. John Mobley just gets in there and gets him. And Warren Moon, calm, settling influence. And folks, that is a rabid celebration for Warren Moon.
Broussard replaces Warren in the backfield. 1st and goal, 9-yard line. For the end zone, wide open, touchdown, Blades. Brian Blades was absolutely wide open, blown coverage.
It was absolutely a blown coverage. They were blitzing again with Darian Gordon coming from the right side out of the slot, and you had some serious standing around going on in the defensive backfield on that play.
2nd touchdown reception of the season for Brian Blades.
The blitz is going to come through the linebackers, and watch Darian Gordon. Now look what happens. Crockett moves up, Braxton moves up, drops the coverage.
Extra point would tie it. Peterson has it. Like 2 heavyweight fighters, one throws a punch, the other comes back to answer. We're tied at 27. The shootout between the 2 top offenses in the NFL and 2 of the best quarterbacks ever. That scoring drive by the Seahawks, 10 plays, 81 yards. And here's the kick by Peterson. Hebron from the 8. Tackled at the 26-yard line.
On that last touchdown pass, Tom, watch the defensive backs right here. You've got Crockett and you have Braxton, but watch Braxton when he gets around the goal line as he sees the receiver cross his face. See that hop and hesitation? He who hops and hesitates is lost. One more time, there's Darian Gordon. That's the backside blitz I was talking about earlier. And a lonely, lonely receiver in Brian Blades.
Moon has passed for 226 yards and 3 scores. Elway 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Elway scrambles. Wide open. Sharp. Shannon Sharp cuts back. He's at the 40. Sharp still on his
Shannon Sharp into a zone coverage, just does what he does best and what worries defenses the most, and that's run after the catch.
First down, Broncos, 24 of Seattle. Here's Terrell Davis. Davis to the 20-yard line as we go to New York to check in with Greg Gumbel.
And once again, Tom, we take you to the Liberty Bowl, where Eddie George, not having one of his huge days, but scoots in from 5 yards out here to pull the Tennessee Oilers to within 6. Plenty of time remaining in the fourth quarter. Jacksonville's lead is 30-24, Tom.
All right, Greg, there is plenty of time left there. Just a little less here. Those Tennessee Oilers are pretty amazing. No support at all. They just keep improving and improving.
Well, they're playing in front of 3 times as many people as they did last year in Houston.
Nobody in the backfield as Davis goes in motion. Elway drills complete. Dwayne Carswell draws a crowd. Winston Moss was the first to get there. Carswell with his first reception of the game, number 8 on the season.
Well, they sent Shannon Sharp down the field for the pretty route, and they gave Dwayne Carswell the pick and shovel token reception. Here, just go over the ball, we'll throw it to you, and then we'll let linebackers smack you.
Yeah, 3 of them, thanks. It's 3rd and 1.
Remember the hand of Sean Springs, top of the screen.
Pitch to Davis. Now block. Davis cuts up inside the 10 and out of bounds at the
1. The best part about this play call, they're coming to the short side of the field. They have less football field to work with, but it doesn't matter. Griffith gets a nice block on a blitzing linebacker, and then it's just Terrell Davis being Terrell Davis. Sure, he's launched by Cortez Kennedy to save that touchdown, but that was strength, speed, and the whole package.
75 yards rushing now for Davis. 1st and goal. Here's Davis. Bangs, didn't get in. Maybe got a half yard. Dean Wells, number 95, stacked him up.
That was a triple collision play for Terrell Davis. First, looked like he kind of half runs into John Elway. Then he runs into his lead blocker, Griffith. And then he runs into Dean Wells, the inside linebacker, blitzing.
That last one was not good.
Now, looking from the end zone, it was a perfect view to see the job that Dean Wells does in filling and snuffing that play.
2nd and goal. Davis again held out of the end zone, a loss this time, and Dean Wells again makes the play with help from Moss and Brown.
You go for it here. You go for your touchdown. You've got the number 1 rusher in the league, and if you don't get this, you've got an offense that's going to be backed up into the noisiest part of this field. Denver's going for it because this play doesn't work. 3rd down. Give it to Davis.
Elway gives it to him through the air. Same result. Back to the 5-yard line. What a play by Darrell Williams. And now, do you kick for the lead or do you try to punch it in?
No, 4th and 1 from about the half-yard line. You go for it. 4th and goal from about the 4-yard line. Not a chance.
Jason Elam is on to attempt the field goal. Davis, 2 runs and a pass, lost yardage.
I really thought on that 3rd down, you just pound the ball up there with Terrell Davis instead of the little swing.
Well, that's man bites dog news as Davis gets nothing on 3 attempts. Elam, however, does get it, and the Broncos have recaptured the lead. 22-yard field goal. It's 30-27. Randy Cross in Denver. Terrell Davis, 3 straight attempts, 2 rushing and 1 receiving, lost yardage, and the Broncos had to settle for the field goal. It does put them back in front. Here's Elam's kick. Harris, 2 yards deep, will down it. So you have the league's leading rusher rusher Terrell Davis, who's also a dangerous receiver. You know he's going to touch the ball on 1st and goal.
Well, first down, Terrell Davis inside Dean Wells. Nice job snuffing it inside. Second down, inside's not working. Let him try the cutback and the flip outside. That ain't happening either. Do you run inside or you try the outside? Well, Denver throws the ball to Terrell Davis, and a wonderful job by Darrell Williams, the safety, of snuffing that one.
And so Davis gets a breath of oxygen on the sideline as the Denver defense takes the field.
And if you're Denver's defense, Tom, and their coordinator, Greg Robinson, you do not stop attacking here. You kept this offense off balance. You better keep them off balance now, or Moon will rip you up in the soft defense.
First down at the 20. Steve Broussard, the setback. Broussard hands to Galloway. Galloway's got some blockers, and he only gets about 6 yards, twisted down by John Mobley. They almost had him trapped in the backfield, but that great burst ability of Joey Galloway got him free.
Well, it's good to see who used a different word this time. Mobley, watch him the whole way. A play like this is the reason John Mobley's going to the Pro Bowl this year as a linebacker. Reacts the wrong way, bites on the reverse, comes all the way out, and catches a flat angle on Joey Galloway. That was speed versus linebacker speed.
Broussard squirting across the 30 for a Seattle first down. Bill Romanowski tripped him up. Let's take a look at our Miller Time game summary. 3-point game. Warren Moon and John Elway, two of the best ever, strutting their stuff. 226 yards, 252 yards. The unexpected Denver, which has protected the football in great fashion throughout the season, losing 2 fumbles, which led to 10 Seattle points.
And once again, they had only lost 4 after 8 games coming in here.
Also unexpected was Terrell Davis not getting in on that last 1st and goal possession. Warren Moon on target, beautifully thrown to Galloway. Ray Crockett defending Galloway, and that is 8 catches for Galloway.
That's the very reason I say you cannot soften your defense and not attack the quarterback and give him time to stand back there and throw. He and Galloway are absolutely going to carve you. Then you're going to take your shot, and then he's going to go up top with Galloway on a long bomb.
That's 15 receptions in 2 weeks for Joey Galloway. Chris Warren at setback. Draw play to Warren. Got away from one man, and Warren uses a blocker to get another 3 or 4 yards and is all the way to the 37 of the Broncos. 19 yards. Nice run by Warren, who looked to be stopped after a yard or so. Right there.
That's just good blocking right there, and good running and leg strength. Remember what I said about the fact he doesn't look like he's moving fast? Defenders can also be deceived in that case, where it doesn't look like he's moving that quickly at him. But by the time you figure it out, he's broken the tackle and he's gone.
Lift off the field now as Broussard replaces him. First down at the 38 of Denver. 3-point game. Broussard. Short game. Nicely defended by Darian Gordon. Well, a shootout indeed. It's going to be who has the ball last, it appears, as these two teams march up and down the field. The 2 best offensive teams in the league. Chris Warren being 10-2 over on the sideline, shaken up on that long running play.
Both these offenses, you can't afford to take your eye off the field a second, despite as long as it takes them to score.
4 wide receivers. Blitz comes. Moon dropped by McKnight.
Well, he had a little bit of help on that drop, though. Darius Gordon was on coverage on that play. Warren Moon puts it where it needs to be. And what you have to watch is the end of it, right at the top of the screen. The slant, the ball, and the strip away with the arms. He had a chance to re-catch the ball, but Johnson wouldn't let him.
3rd and 8. 241 yards for Moon.
Trying to audible in the noise.
Blitz. Moon found the hot receiver Pritchard, who could not hold on. He would have been well short of the first down anyway. Defended well by Darius Johnson.
I think with all those blitzers coming after him and steaming into his face, he found a friendly face as much as he found a receiver, because Pritchard wasn't anywhere near open.
This would be a 53 or 54-yard attempt if they elect to go for the field goal. Instead, it looks like they will punt. Trailing by 3 with 4:36 left, the Seahawks will punt to Gordon and the Broncos.
This sets the Denver offense up in a position they didn't do a good job at last week. That's 4-minute offense where you run out the clock.
Hooch punt, not handled well. That was a bad-looking effort by Rick Tootin. Didn't get the job done on that one. It was a robust 6 yards. Tom Hammond, Randy Cross in Denver. Broncos lead by 3 at 4:29. Each team with a full complement of timeouts remaining. First down, Broncos at their own 30. Davis shakes one man. Finally caught by Darrell Williams. Got about 8 yards.
And if you want to run that 4-minute offense I'm talking about, you keep the ball inbounds, you keep your contact on the people you're blocking, and you rely on your running back to make the tough yards after a tough hit.
82 yards on the afternoon for Davis. Second and 2. Here he is again, Terrell Davis. First down and more. Davis at midfield dives to the 43-yard line. Gain of 19.
I talk about the total package of Terrell Davis as his fullback Griffith removes the divot off his face mask. Watch the end of the play and how he protects this football instead of trying for the extra yards. Look at the arms go over the ball so there will not be a fumble.
Now over 100 yards, 101 for Terrell Davis. He's amazing. Terrell Davis. Not much that time. Seattle front stopped him after Davis had reached another milestone. 17 100-yard rushing games for Davis in his 3rd season out of Georgia.
And last week against Buffalo, Mike Shanahan mentioned to us yesterday that we just did not do a very good job of executing this part of our offense. A lot of the execution Mike Shanahan expects, though, in this part of the offense isn't so much his great running back. It's the offensive line up front. That is who runs a 4-minute drill.
And lost in the Terrell Davis show is the fact that John Elway has moved on that last drive before this one into 2nd place in passing yards all time. Davis to the 35. 2:15 showing on the clock, and timeout taken by Seattle. John Elway now passes Fran Tarkenton for 2nd place all-time passing yards, 47,022. One of the greats. We'll take a break with a Seattle timeout. 2:15 left in a 3-point game. Remaining, Denver leading Seattle by 3. They have a 3rd and 3 at the Seahawk 36. Davis fumbles the football, still loose. Who has it? Did Davis get it back, or did the Seahawks recover? Wow, I think Terrell Davis managed to scramble back and recover the football as we come to the 2-minute warning. Terrell says, woo. 30-27, 2 minutes even remaining. Fourth down, the Broncos will punt. Tom Ruin in punt formation. Harris the deep man for Seattle. High punt. Harris is going to let it go. Can they down it? No. Reaches the end zone on the fly. Seattle takes over at the 20 after a 46-yard punt.
Watch the eyes of Terrell Davis and watch Chad Brown, 94, in his desperate attempt to get it a free ball. Watch his cleats. He can't get footing. He gets footing, he has it. But Ed McCaffrey comes in and sweeps it out of his hand. What a frustrating feeling, desperate feeling for Chad Brown.
Now Warren Moon. Moon was telling us yesterday he was frustrated by a late Elway comeback in the January 91 playoffs against the Broncos. Well, now Warren, who was with the Oilers at that time, can try to pull this one out in Denver. Threw into traffic that time. Dangerous pass. Darius Johnson had pretty good coverage on Mike Pritchard. Following the game, most of these NBC stations, it's Dateline Sunday. Can a high-tech approach douse the fires in California? Meet a man who fights fires with a laptop computer. Then it's all new episodes of Men Behaving Badly and Jenny, followed by an NBC original thriller, House of Frankenstein, 1997. Viewers on the West Coast see those shows at their regularly scheduled time.
That was almost an interference, Tom, on Johnson. That's one thing you don't want in this situation.
Caught. Crumpler out of bounds, just short of the first down. Stops the clock at 1:42. The Seahawks do have 2 timeouts left.
When you're on this field, in this stadium, this situation with the Bronco players just begging the crowd to get loud, you can feel the cheers. You can feel the excitement physically on your skin.
3rd and 1. Draw play. Chris Warren has the first down. Cuts it upfield. Warren fumbles the ball. Still loose.
The official on the far side is pointing to the ground and pointing Denver's way.
It was very close to the boundary marker.
I'll be honest, I thought he stepped out of bounds before he dropped that ball.
Tom White will tell us.
We have a fumble forward and out of bounds. It was touched by the Denver player who was out of bounds. The ball goes back to Seattle at the spot of the fumble. First down.
Break for the Seahawks.
What you have to watch for is the defender and his body. The fumble is true. Romanowski breaks it out. Watch the body of the player from Denver. As the ball is recovered, is he inbound or is he out of bounds? He was ruled out of bounds as he touched the ball. That's why the ball is still Seattle's.
Seahawks alive. First down at their own 40. Moon scrambles away from trouble. There's a penalty marker down. The ball thrown away. Well, there is not a penalty marker down. Fans thought there were.
Well, Dennis Erickson got lucky there, having that player out of bounds touch it on the defensive side for Denver, nullifying that fumble. I don't know if you give Chris Warren the ball again, because Romanowski cleanly drops it out. Watch Harold Hasselbeck, number 96, come sliding in. He's clearly out of bounds as he's grabbing that ball. Good call by the officials.
That was the definitive angle, and it was a good call. Moon throws it away over the head of Galloway. And let's check in with Greg Gumbel in New York. Greg?
All right, Tom, at San Francisco, it's all over. Big play of this game, Steve Young to J.J. Stokes. Great catch down to the 1 to set up a William Floyd touchdown. The go-ahead score for the 49ers, who go on to beat the Cowboys. Dallas now 4-5. The 49ers 8-1, Tom.
All right, Greg, thanks a lot. After trailing much of the game, the 49ers come back to beat the Cowboys. Here, the issue still in doubt. with 1:20 left. Caught by Crumpler, cut down at the 45-yard line, short of the first down by Ray Crockett. It'll be 4th down.
And more importantly for Denver, the clock is moving, and that's why Seattle calls a timeout.
Crumpler did not get out of bounds, and so the Seahawks have to spend a timeout. They have one left.
You know, one thing that Crumpler does is he catches that last pass. There's a slight hesitation as he turns. Do I try to make a move, or do I just blast it up the field? Turn, go. Don't fake, don't move, go.
It's going to bring up a 4th down for Seattle, and they're in need of about 19 or 20 yards to get in Peterson's field goal range. He has hit a 52-yarder already in this game. His career long is 54.
In similar situations, Greg Robinson from Denver, their coordinator, has blitz and shown the blitz inside and given the blitz outside.
Moves pass deflected and incomplete. Oh! Blades knocked it away from Galloway. Blades trying for the ball, knocked away a sure reception by Galloway, who had dead aim on it.
The ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage. There is no blitz. Watch Galloway being patient and waiting. And by being patient and waiting, it gives his teammate Blades a chance to come in and knock it away. 4-man rush. Alfred Williams, the ball bounces off his shoulder pads. Wow. Fitting the way this game's gone, they should end on a bizarre play like that.
Now Elway takes a knee. And the Seahawks have only one timeout left.
If you're a quarterback like Warren Moon, you saw the deflection, you think you have a completion, and you can't get any closer.
Here's the final tally on the numbers from two of the great quarterbacks. Warren Moon, 28 of 46, 256 yards, 3 touchdowns. John Elway, 19 of 30, 252 yards, and 2 scores. One thing that the Seahawks have proven, they haven't proved that much. They're going to lose this game, but they gave the Broncos a fight at Mile High. Meanwhile, Denver goes to 8-1, remaining in first place in the AFC West.
And they did it, Dennis Erickson's team did, in a shootout, something I don't think anybody thought they could come in here into Mile High, even with Warren Moon on a roll, and hold up to the onslaught of the crowd in this Broncos team.
There are the final numbers on those two quarterbacks. A joy to watch them play. Warren Moon and John Elway. And the winningest quarterback in NFL history, John Elway, claims another victory, 30-27. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this.